Good afternoon, everyone. If you all want to grab a seat, gather around, and we'll go ahead and get started with this great event that we have, the launch of our downtown circulator in Lynchburg. So feel free. We have a few more seats if anyone would like to have a seat, and we will get started. First off, we have several special guests here, so I wanted to be sure to recognize those. We have Allie Sutherland, who is with Senator Tim Kaine's office. Thank you for coming, Allie, and representing that office. We also have Christopher Rawledy, which is where he's right there. He is with Congressman Goodlatte's office, so thank you for coming to this event. A little bit later, we will be having Secretary Lane as well as Governor McAuliffe attend, and they will be speaking for a portion of this ceremony. They are due to arrive right around 1, so we wanted to go ahead and get started. They're on a tight schedule, so we wanted to make sure we could maximize the time that we have with them. Some other things that I would also like to give, I'd like to thank City Council for their support. If it was not for City Council, we would not be able to do anything that we do at GLTC, any of the services that we provide. Mayor Foster is right here behind me. She is going to be speaking shortly, so thank you, Mayor. We also have Vice Mayor Tweedy and Councilman Wilder. I don't believe I've seen any of the other councilmen, but we thank you all for coming and taking part in this. I would also like to recognize the staff at the Department of Rail and Public Transportation. I believe they are over here in front of the bus. We have Jennifer Mitchell, who's the director. Patrice Strachan is the program manager who works with GLTC from the department, as well as Jen DeBrule and Neil Sherman. I would like to express my gratitude to you all, as you all have been very supportive of this project and very supportive of everything that we do in Lynchburg. So thank you for everything that you do and being here today with us. The next person that I would like to recognize is Shannon Valentine, who is right here to my left, and she is a member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board. And are there any other members of the CTB present? Did anyone else come, Shannon?
No, they said that.
They said Jennifer. Okay, Jennifer is our other member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board. So really want to thank Shannon. She has been a large proponent for the Lynchburg area on that board, and she is an advocate for us and has been very supportive of us through the application, the Smart Scale application, that we were able to receive funding for the purchase of this bus. And she will be speaking later on, and I'm sure she will talk a little bit more about the Smart Scale process and the applications that it has and the opportunities it has for transit as well as public transportation. I would also like to recognize Region 2000. Gary Christie is the executive director who will be speaking here shortly. Him and his staff have been very integral, and they really should be given credited for igniting this new service that we have. They ignited the process. They got it started with the idea, and we're very integral in the application. So thank you, Gary, to you and your staff for that help throughout the journey that we're on. And then finally, I'd like to also thank all of the GLTC staff, the Downtown Association, as well as any city staff and other members who have taken part in the planning process, the startup, and anything else that is related to this service and being supportive. We really could not have done it without everyone pulling together and going on one task force to get this journey started. And you may have noticed I've been referring to this as a journey. And that's truly what this process has been. It's been a journey. It started probably about 3 years ago with the idea and the application put in. But even before that, downtown Lynchburg had a circulator that circulated through downtown. It was about 15 years ago. And this trolley service was ultimately discontinued due to low ridership. It's exciting to be standing here today to relaunch the service that was discontinued so many years ago. And I believe that this is a true testament of the revitalization efforts that downtown is experienced and has experienced over the last few years. And it is exciting that even before we have launched the service today, we have already had interest expressed in extended hours, more service. So it's really exciting to know that the citizens in downtown is wanting more of something that we haven't even started yet. So we will be working diligently in the near future to determine how to make this desire a reality. So I want to invite you all to join in the excitement with me today. And the next time, and how you can do that is the next time that you're downtown is to take a hop on the hopper and get around downtown that way. So I'll invite Mayor Foster up to say a few words.
Aha! Don't have to move this. It's good. Whoever put my stool here, thank you. Well, good afternoon. It's so great to see all of you all here. It is exciting. It's very, very exciting, and I feel very privileged and honored to say a few words, and I promise it'll only be a few words. First of all, when our governor gets here, I want to welcome him to Lynchburg. We're always happy when our governor can come and visit us. And for those who are present at this moment, thanks goes out to GLTC General Manager Brian Booth. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. And the GLTC board members. And I want them to raise their hand because there are volunteers and they work very hard on making transportation easy in our city. Board members, GLTC board members, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, Gary Christie, thank you for being here too. Appreciate your role that all of you all played in making this happen. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my fellow council members because it's always comforting to look out and see them. And I have today with me Councilmember Sterling Wilder and Vice Mayor Trenae Tweedy. It's great to have you all here. And I also have a little bonus treat. I looked in the audience and I saw our former Vice Mayor, Caesar Johnson, over here as well. Caesar, thank you for joining. It's always good to see your smiling face. Thank you. Well, some of you all may know, I hope you do, because I want you to be part of it, that we're in the process of updating the Downtown Master Plan. That was adopted, the original one, some 17 years ago. And let me tell you this, I've been on council now 16 years of those 17 years. What a difference 17 years can make. And it's great to have a master plan. Some people say, why do you spend money on that? Just look around. That's why, because a lot of this was all laid out in that plan, and we committed to make it happen. So we're doing it again. So please be a part of, and tell us your thoughts. What will the next, actually 20 years bring? What will we look like downtown? Probably look a whole lot different than we look today. And I'm sure it's upward and onwards. Because since that time, when I got on councils, and it's 17 years ago, we were losing population. We were about 63,000 individuals living in this community. We've hit over the 80,000 mark, and I cannot believe that some of what we've done downtown and this growth downtown has made that happen. From loft apartments to restaurants to the opening of small businesses, the city has also made and is continuing, because I know you've been detoured and rerouted about on every street here. We have made a commitment to work on this infrastructure that's downtown. We have water and sewer and sidewalks and things that we want to make our community a healthy and great place to live, work, and play. The update of the Downtown Master Plan will guide us as we enter into this next phase of downtown revitalization. So, we're called the Hill City, as many of you all know, and that's for a good reason. Although we're staunch proponents of health and wellness, and you know how I feel about that with Live Healthy Lynchburg, walking from here down to Jefferson Street. See, if I want to do that today, to eat in a restaurant, to shop at one of the businesses, and even get to work, that'd be a challenge, particularly for me because I have a lame knee today. So comes in this new, brand new, state-of-the-art bus. It is a cost-effective way to improve visitor and resident access to our downtown businesses, and Lynchburg is extremely proud. And I'm going to take a phrase from Secretary Lane, who I know is not here today, but we have Shannon Valentine and Transportation Board, you're going to hear from shortly here, and I thank them so much for being here, that Secretary Lane has said that we're going to make our mark on Virginia's transportation history, and we hope we are helping with that. So in closing, thank you again, all of you all who made this possible. Shannon, that board, GLTC, Gary, Christie, our own city council, all those folks who made this day happen. Heartfelt thanks from me to you all and from our city. I can't wait to hop on the hopper. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, for those words, and we really appreciate you all's support. We have received confirmation that the governor will be arriving here shortly, but we have a few minutes, so I would like to ask the former general manager, Josh Baker, to come and say a few words. He was the one that was really here and integral in the planning process, working with Region 2000. So I would ask that he come up to the podium and give a few words. Josh, come on.
There's a term for this when you're not prepared, but I don't think it's appropriate today. I will say thank you all for inviting me back to celebrate today. The city of Lynchburg is a special place for me, even though my time here was short-lived. It was an exciting time. And this service is one of the examples of truly what makes Lynchburg such a special place. I'm now in a different jurisdiction, but the reality is that this is where my heart is, and this is where there's great people who are working hard to really revitalize this city. And what you're seeing here today and what the governor is about to introduce to this city is really special. And there are a lot of people that have been thanked, and I would agree with everyone who's been thanked. One person I'm not sure was mentioned is Philip Gabathuler, who's standing back here in the shades. You raise your hand, Philip. Philip actually worked with me when we originally conceptualized really submitting for this and working with the Department of Rail and Public Transportation on this service. And he worked really hard to figure out how can we make sure that the mobility needs of downtown Lynchburg are accommodated, and when and how and what types of service and everything that's necessary. So it's truly with his help, as well as the many people who've supported this service, that we're going to get to see this on the road. Coming here today and arriving and seeing this bus, although covered on this side, is exciting. It's bright, it's fresh, it's new, it's exciting. And that's what's going on in Lynchburg. I mean, when you look at this city and the growth that it's experiencing and the people who are dedicated to that growth and the people who are working to make sure that it is not held back, that we're champions of that growth, that's really special. You do come across areas where it's not that exciting and people are not that energetic about it, but that's not Lynchburg. And so this is exciting to see. It's exciting to know that this is going to be on the road, and I look forward to riding it as well. And I just have to stall, but I'll just say thank you all for being here, and we do know the governor is going to arrive in just a few minutes, and so we'll just hang out and look forward to his remarks. And I'm really happy that he's going to come, because the Smart Scale program is really something that he's worked hard on, and so we really need to recognize this unique fundraiser. So thank you all for being here, and thanks for making me kill time, Brian.
Thank you, Josh. One person that I would like to recognize that I did not recognize earlier is Heather Kennedy right here. She is sitting beside the city manager. She has been very helpful in ensuring that the construction that is going on downtown could have the streets open so that for this initial launch, the inaugural ride, we will be able to actually take the bus on its full trip, that it will be running once it starts service and the roads are completed with construction. So thank you very much, Heather, for your help and what you've been doing. It has been a pleasure to work with you and to know that we are able to launch it fully on this first day. So I will also just ask if our board president, Peggy, if she might like to come up and say something. And I think I did omit recognizing our board earlier when I did that, and I apologize. Thank you, Mayor Foster, for doing that. They have been very supportive of this whole process, so I would like for Peggy just to give a few words, if you don't mind.
Well, it's like Brian and Josh said, or actually it was Josh, nothing like being totally unprepared. And my car is not even close by to start honking its horn to take up a little time. But we're looking forward to having the governor here. We have a great deal of dignitaries here today to launch this very exciting service for downtown Lynchburg. And it's only the start of a lot of transportation initiatives that we're going to have in the city. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Jennifer Mitchell. Thank you, Shannon Valentine, and all of you who have, Philip, wave your hand again, Philip. All of you who have made this very exciting downtown shuttle, the Hopper, possible. We are very excited about bringing this mode of transportation onto our city streets, and it's just the beginning of lots of wonderful things, more things for downtown Lynchburg. As Joan mentioned, we are in the middle of a new planning effort, and I hope everyone will take advantage of lending your ideas to that. There's so many great ideas that started here a number of years ago when we began the downtown redevelopment, and we're in the second phase of that. So please come out when you see a notice of those opportunities to speak up and make your voice heard about what you want downtown. So thank you all so much for being here. This is an extremely exciting day, and I really appreciate the interest that all of you have shown today.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you for your words. And I have put a couple people on the spot today. We had some last-minute schedule changes, so we are making it work and accommodating. So at this time, I'll ask Gary Christie to come up and speak from Region 2000's perspective on this project and how their involvement has helped us to get to this day.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Representing the local government council and the Central Virginia MPO, I'm proud to say that we gather community leaders and local officials together to work on community problems and seek those solutions. And in fact, sometimes solutions do start with a grant or an investment from state and local folks. And sometimes these investments pay off to downtown transportation solutions. As downtown grows with residents and businesses, for some this service will be a convenience. For some it will mean keeping their car parked while they run to lunch or to the bank or to insurance office. For some it will mean avoiding a long walk on a hot day or a wet day or a cold day. For the city it will mean one less car on the road, one car at a time, over and over again. For the community it means another option. In a lifestyle where more choices mean downtown becomes an even more desirable place that continues to attract residents and businesses. The local government council appreciates the opportunity to work alongside GLTC with planning and development services to provide sensible, efficient transit services. And we appreciate the opportunity to work with state officials on the Commonwealth Transportation Board, VDOT, and VDRPT. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for those words. And now I would like to ask that Shannon Valentine with the Commonwealth Transportation Board come to the podium and give her perspective on this new service that we have.
Hello. Okay, here's the good news. I do not need to follow the governor to the podium. So that part is really great. Nobody wants to do it, but I was willing to do it because my colleagues on the Commonwealth Transportation Board, of which Jennifer Mitchell and I both serve, would have been very disappointed today had we not paused and actually recognized so much of the contributions that have come from Governor McAuliffe and the complete and tremendous transformation that has taken place in transportation because of his leadership. Some of it's somewhat personal, so I'm thinking I don't really want to talk to an empty chair. However, he did choose a great team led by Secretary Aubrey Lane, Director Jennifer Mitchell with DRPT, and our Commissioner Charlie Kilpatrick. He put in place an independent Commonwealth Transportation Board, which he supported. He focused on problem solving and consistently chose governance over politics. And ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you that the results have been remarkable. Today, there is a commitment to invest in every district in Virginia, a priority on state of good repair for the assets we currently have, the creation of Smart Scale, which is a data-driven process for using objective measures to identify, fund, and as of today, actually complete transportation projects here in Virginia. With an eye on innovation, multimodal solutions, and smart engineering, we are building a 21st century transportation network that insists on transparency and holds us on the Commonwealth Transportation Board accountable for our decisions. I will tell you, should I wait? Welcome to Lynchburg. Here, have a seat. I was saying, I was really here because my colleagues on the Commonwealth Transportation Board, and I will say that the governor did appoint me to it, that our colleagues would have been very disappointed had I not paused at this moment to thank you for all the contributions you've made in transforming transportation in Virginia. And I was sharing with everyone that you supported, well, you created a great team. You supported the independence of the Commonwealth Transportation Board. You focused on problem solving, and you have always chosen governance over politics. And I will tell you, they clapped the first time I said that. And I was saying that with these changes, we now have a commitment to every district, a focus on the state of good repair, and we've created Smart Scale. With innovation and smart engineering and multimodal solutions, we are today building a 21st century transportation network that insists on transparency and holds us on the Commonwealth Transportation Board accountable. The meetings have been long, so I'm very disappointed that Deputy Secretary Nick Donahue could not be here with us.
Oh, he's here. He's here. There he is.
I would not be talking about Smart Scale without you. Welcome. The debates have been honest, and at times the decisions have been very tough. Because even when you look just at our Lynchburg district, even though we are more than doubling the amount of investment in our 6-year improvement plan to more than $343 million, we still cannot fund every important project that we have. We live in a world that Aubrey Lane has been known to say, limited resources have consequences. It's a reality that we live with every day, every district lives with every day. But it does not stop us from asking questions, learning from the past 2 rounds, analyzing the factors, all in an effort to improve the process and to make our projects as competitive as possible, which makes today all the more important because of the selection and the inauguration of the hopper. Mr. Secretary, I will tell you that this project moves people, supports our economy, relieves congestion, addresses parking, promotes safety and accessibility, and is environmentally sound. We check every box and more. It is a solid investment that I believe will offer a good return, a great return to our community and the Commonwealth of Virginia. And because I know personally how competitive this is, I offer my sincere congratulations to Brian Booth, Josh Baker, the former general manager, to Peggy Whitaker, the entire board of the GLTC, to Region 2000, the Central Virginia MPO, to Patrice, I always say Strachan, to Jennifer Mitchell, who has been a tremendous leader and friend through this entire process, and to everyone who has supported this project. Congratulations, you have truly earned this day. And as we look forward to many more days just like this, Governor, Mr. Secretary, Director Mitchell, please know that on behalf of my colleagues with the CTB, it has been a privilege getting here. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Shannon. And now we're very happy to have Governor McAuliffe as well as the Secretary of Transportation, Aubrey Lane. So now I'll ask that the Secretary come and give a few words, and he potentially will introduce the Governor to us.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Yes. Well, thank you, everybody. It is good to be here in Lynchburg. I've told many of you before, spent a lot of time here. My parents are from the area. My mother still lives here, so it's great to be back in what you've done in downtown Lynchburg. Shannon mentioned that a lot of things have happened under Governor McAuliffe. In fact, he hit the ground running, and transportation was one of the things that he immediately attacked. He made clear we were going to be good stewards and pick the right projects. And his first State of the Commonwealth address, he directed me and his Transportation Secretary to work with the legislature to come up with a new prioritization process to make sure that those 2 overriding principles of being good stewards and picking the right projects were accomplished. And with that, Smartsville became into being. Well, I say with that, it was 2 years of hard work working with the Transportation Board under direction of Governor McAuliffe, but working with many of you, because you know this wasn't a top-down approach, it was built from the ground up. And we spent many times, not only in public hearings, but in personal meetings, private meetings, and Shannon, I'm glad you recognized Nick and Jennifer, because they were very much involved in going through this hard work. Now, that has also been good, not just for the Commonwealth of Virginia, but particularly for the Lynchburg District. And Shannon, you're right, under the old formula, the Lynchburg District was getting about $130 million over the 6 years. Now, under the new formula plan, it's over $200 million. And in fact, your actual construction program has gone from $189 million to what you mentioned to over a little less than $344 million, an 80% increase. And I'll also point out, yeah, that's pretty good. Come on. Yes. And also, I'll point out some of the highest rated projects in the Commonwealth came from the Lynchburg District. And also, this district had the most amount of projects that were funded. So while Shannon mentioned we don't have enough to do everything, I think this district can be very proud that you've embraced the reforms, and really transportation is moving forward here. In fact, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we have more under construction under Governor McAuliffe's leadership than we have in decades. And I think actually in our history, but in decades. Now, Governor McAuliffe is not just doing this in transportation. He's working hard every day to build the new Virginia economy by creating jobs for the 21st century. And let's face it, transportation is really about getting access to those jobs. That's a big part of it. So infrastructure is a key component. A lifelong entrepreneur, Governor McAuliffe brings a common sense business approach to his position as the Commonwealth's chief job creator. And the results speak for themselves. I can tell you, I really respond. My background is in business, and so having results is a whole lot more than just talking about it. Since the start of his administration, the number of jobs in Virginia has increased by more than 200,000. He has closed 1,012 economic development deals. That's as of today. I'm sure maybe this afternoon it'll be more, but as of today, right now, 1,012 economic development deals that will bring a record-breaking $16.4 billion in capital investment to this great Commonwealth of Virginia in the coming years. Now, that's more than $4 billion than any other governor in our history, and he's got over 4 months left. So I know there's a lot more to come. But it's also gotten down to individuals. Virginia's unemployment rate has declined from 5.4% when Governor McAuliffe came into office in January 2014 to 3.8% today, the lowest rate in more than 9 years. It's the third lowest rate of any major state. So this is really getting down, these reforms, to actually helping people. He's worked across the aisle to win bipartisan support to reform not just in transportation, but in education and protecting Virginians from gun violence. Through his efforts, Governor McAuliffe has made Virginia a national leader on a variety of issues. And I can personally speak about transportation when we've been invited to the White House to talk about our smart scale, our reforms in P3. So the governor has really been a leader across not just the Commonwealth, but the nation. Through his efforts, Governor McAuliffe has been the chairman of the National Governors Association, where he made cybersecurity his signature initiative and has been called the Cyber Governor of the Year. He's also was named the 2016 Bio Governor of the Year by the Biotechnology Innovation Organization, and twice was elected chairman of the Chesapeake Bay Executive Council. And I can tell you, I don't know what we've got as programs, but he's going to be transportation person of the year also for all the reforms that you've done, Governor. I'm going to, personally, you have it from us, but we're going to find somebody else to recognize it also. But here's what I find really, as a citizen of Virginia, the most rewarding and really proud of Governor McAuliffe, and he's been nationally recognized for his work restoring more civil rights, voting rights than any other governor in U.S. history. And he had, and I'll tell you what really speaks to me, he had the courage to speak up what was right about the events that happened right down the road here, not far from us in Charlottesville. So, Governor, I want to thank you for your leadership on that. Those efforts have led to making Virginia an open and welcoming place to do business. And he's also led 30 trade missions to more than 24 countries. He is the hardest working governor. I thought I had a high level of energy. I can tell you, the governor, it's hard to keep up. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the 72nd governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, my boss, His Excellency Terry McAuliffe.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, or I guess good afternoon by now. I want to thank our great Secretary of Transportation and the great work that he has done. It's great to be with you, Brian, Gary. It's great to be with you, Mayor, and my great CTV member. I thank you. It's great to be in Lynchburg, the greatest city in Virginia. And I said it must be true. But it is great to be here today. I love Lynchburg. I've been here many times. We've worked on a lot of transportation issues. I do want to thank the Secretary and Jennifer and Nick and everybody else involved in transportation. I wanted to be here specifically today as we are going to hop on the hopper, and we're going to take the ride on the hopper, about a 20-minute ride, I'm told, because this is our first smart scale investment that's come to fruition. And everybody has talked about smart scale and mentioned how hard it was and all that. The reason why we're here today, the reason why we have smart scale, to be putting it bluntly, there was too much politics in transportation. Roads were given to people depending on who the governor was and who had a powerful delegation in the General Assembly. That is not how you build a 21st century economy. So we went about taking politics out of it. After smart scale today, I could tell the Secretary, I want this road or that exit entrance ramp. Wouldn't matter. Doesn't care. I have no power to pick any transportation projects, nor does any member of the General Assembly, which is the right thing. It should be done on improving accessibility, moving people around, economic impact, environmental impact, on things that determine transportation. But we got to this place because when I became governor, I inherited a mess. As you know, I inherited a project called Route 460, which every citizen of Virginia should be outraged about. We discovered that the state had spent $300 million on a proposed road. The secretary came in to me in my first month and said, we're facing a bill for $32 million a month going forward. We'd already spent $300 million for a road that was supposedly going to go over 400 acres of wetlands. Never in the history of the United States of America have we ever had the Army Corps of Engineers permit 400 acres of wetlands. Maybe Virginia would be the first state to get it. However, in order to get it, you have to apply for a permit. No permit had ever been applied for. And yet we'd spent $300 million of your taxpayer money. It was criminal. It was wrong. And we also inherited the Midtown Tunnel deal, exorbitant tolls placed upon citizens before any new capacity would be brought about, crippling people's ability to be able to get to work, especially those individuals most in need. So as you know, I recently went down there. I had 4 African-American women who both, or all 4 of them, had bills anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 in fines over a couple months. Are you kidding me? So we brought the women with me, and we held a press conference, and I took their bills, and I ripped them up and threw them out to the cameras to see. We're never paying those bills here in Virginia. I will not allow an out-of-state, let alone an out-of-country business come into our state and rip off our citizens. So the good news is the company came in and we got rid of all outstanding fines and fees and we got it all worked out. My point in all of this, it was a mess and we had to fix it. Let's get the politics out of it. This is your tax dollars. You work hard to earn your money. And we, who get elected, it's our responsibility to spend your money wisely. So today, going forward, everything gets rated. When the General Assembly comes in January, our team hands them a binder with every single project that was bid on. And it's got its metrics and it's scored. And if you don't score high, you're not getting the project. I don't care who you are. And the best projects are the ones that get picked, and that's how it is. This project got picked. This was a great return on investment. It will move people around. It will be critical to Lynchburg. It will take cars off the road. I read that 38% of the people who will be riding this live in poverty, so this is a lifeblood for individuals here in Lynchburg. So this is a win-win all the way around, and that's why I wanted to be here, because this is our first project. And as the Secretary said, at the end of the day, folks, I work on job creation 24/7. We've shattered the records. I enjoy doing it. But at the end of the day, it should all come back to jobs. If you do not have a job, if you do not provide for your family, then none of this other stuff that politicians talk about really matter. I need the revenue to invest in roads, invest in education. We put $1 billion last year, the biggest investment in Virginia history, to redo all of our K through 12. Our problem in Virginia today, folks, is not a lack of jobs. We're down to the lowest level. Unemployment claims just hit a 44-year low, I announced the other day. Our problem is I have too many high-paying jobs that I cannot fill because we're not graduating folks with the skills to match the jobs that exist. Putting that connective tissue is why we put that $1 billion into K through 12. This fall in Virginia, first state in America, we're beginning to teach cybersecurity in kindergarten. Why? I have 36,000 jobs open right now in Virginia. Starting pay $88,000 in cyber. All you need is a 2-year degree, not 4-year, 2-year degree. So we need to fix all that. But so it's education, it's transportation. But finally, we do a great job recruiting businesses. They are not going to come to Virginia if they can't move around our roads. They are not going to come to Virginia if it takes them 2 hours to drive to work. They are not going to come to Virginia if it takes them 2 hours to go see their kids play a ball game in the afternoon. They're not. They got places to go. That's why we're here for the hopper to unveil this and get on it. I thank everybody here in Lynchburg for being the first, the best of the best. It's an honor here, and let's hop on the hopper and let's take a ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. At this time, we'll take a quick little break, let the cameras reset, and so that we can get the view of the unveiling of the hopper. of us, the exciting part that we're all here for. I would like to invite the governor as well as the Secretary of Transportation, Shannon Valentine, members of City Council, and the Board of Directors for GLTC to assist in the unveiling. There's several ropes that are attached, so grab a hold of a rope and we will be ready in just a moment.
All right. Well, Brian, we should have the crowd do a little countdown.
All right, let's do a countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've done a lot of them. That one worked. Congrats.
I understand that.